did a video. I talked about the shorts. I talked about kind of the hoodies a little bit, with the sweatsuits, whatever, a little bit, and basically just like how I came to that point. What made me want to, what made me want to go that route instead of the t-shirts and, I guess the things that you typically would see from a brand that's kind of starting and up and coming, and what that's all about, right? So after I did the sweatsuits and stuff, I felt like, shorts, that was good for the summertime. And then I kind of did experiment a little bit with these. Before I get to what I want to talk about today, there was a bit of an experimentation in between, and I think it's here. Let me see. There was a bit of experimentation here. Shout out to the homie James. I mean, I was holding it down for a little bit as my model guy, right? And I actually do have this here with me. Right? So I was like, man, it's summertime. I ordered these. When I ordered the shorts, there's a few homies that did get one of these Jones. I didn't order that many. I never dropped them, but I was thinking about expanding and doing like the Laxter Country Club thing, making some more sporty, dressy stuff. And this is stuff that I think will come in the future at some point, because overall it was a W concept. You know what I mean? There are times where I'll cook thinking about the future, like, let me experiment, let me try some things, whatever the case, right? Take some pictures, archive. I'm pretty sure other brands do these things as well, where it's almost like a reference track if you make music, where you just see if you can. You see how your design looks on certain pieces. Is this a good idea? Is it not? The only difference is I'm sharing that process and I'm being a bit transparent, right? So I made these button-ups, button-downs, whatever you want to call it, because I'm thinking about, the golfers, the tennis homies, stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure so cooked up the design, the dimensions and stuff. Shout out to the homie Antonio, you know what I mean? He grabbed him one. And at some point I know that I'm gonna be doing something with these. I just haven't done it yet. Probably gonna be button downs though. You know what I mean? But just some concept art. Part of the process of it of me designing this. This is such a stroll down memory lane. You know what I mean? And yeah, just figuring out everything, literally. Shout out to my manufacturers, they get the job done. But it takes a long time to conceptualize pieces and to come up with ideas and stuff. You know what I mean? It takes a long time. Shout out Mr. Gay for holding it down and showing me the ropes, man. But anyway, and yeah, this is the more updated version of the logo. It still needs to be clean. It's very rough. It's very rough. Very rough. But anyway, not what I wanted to talk about today, because I want to talk about what I've dropped so far, right? Now, the next thing that I dropped officially after the shorts and the sweatsuits was actually the SKULLYS. And and this is the thing, these right here did numbers for me. These are my best performing product, because it was easy, simple. A lot of people wear beanies and stuff, and I felt like it was a better idea of early brand representation, because it's not as expensive to make, it's not as expensive to sell. Will I be reading up on these more? Most definitely. You know what I mean? Most definitely. Headwear, I was like already thinking about headwear, but I just wasn't sure how I was gonna go about it. You know what I mean? So man, I don't have any real pictures on here on my Instagram. Well, kind of. People honestly bought these all over the place. Like I was receiving pictures to my DMs from Japan. You know what I mean? I was receiving pictures from my DMs from the Bay. And this is the one that got me my biggest looks. Like some creators, they shopped with me and they rocked and they show love. You know what I mean? Shout out McQueen. McQueen, he showed love. Hold on.
Mr. McQueen, stay pimping. PS stickers inside.
Now that's pimp.
Yeah. Shout out to my guys. Shout out to my guys at Laxter Athletics, man. Oh, I'm gonna stay pimping. I'm gonna stay pimping, man.
Now that's pimp.
Yeah, I fucks with that. That shit tough on my mama, nigga. That shit tough on my mama, nigga. Hold up, nigga.
Yeah, there's more creative, this dude right here, he plays, his story honestly was super tough, super fire, you know what I mean? It's super tough, super fire. He's a cancer survivor, hooper, you know what I mean? He has a lot of ties into the NBA, and he creates a lot of content that's really good content. And to see this, videos like this where, he's like, okay, I'm getting ready for me to go hoop. And he rocks a lot of SKULLYS and stuff too. So that's why I was glad to see, like, hey, the representation. You know what I mean? Because overall it goes very well together. It's a good punctuation statement on a lot of outfits. People like to wear a lot of brands, represent a lot of brands. So this was a really good way to start fitting in with other brands and getting that brand representation, because it sticks out very much. You haven't seen anything like this. Look at what's on his head. Straight up, you haven't seen very much like this. And it's not only him. There's, but oh my god, Hero. Let me see. Here you go. Hero ain't no uncle. So shout out Hero. But this dude, I actually watched him blow up on Instagram, day after day, uploading videos and stuff like that. And kind of the same thing. He's one of the first people that I sent this to. I sent this beanie to. I tapped in with him early because I seen that he was going up. And that's the thing, bro. One thing that's important about brands, don't just try to glaze the people that are like the most popping on the internet ever. You want to interact with people who have their own core fan base. And the reason why is because, one, it's a great promotion, and they're more likely going to convert. But two, it's easier to build a relationship, and it's much more valuable to build a relationship with somebody who genuinely does have their own fan base. You know what I mean? And literally, this dude, he just be on the gram and he creates his own quotes, or just kind of like reads quotes and stares at the camera. But if they be hitting though, people be functioning with them. And one thing I love about this beanie is how you can rock it however you want. You can rock it just so many different ways, because you know what I mean, the logo is just like everywhere, all over this. And that was my idea. It was like you could wear it backwards, sideways, straight up. That's why I didn't want to have a cuff on this. You know what I mean? At some point, I know I'm going to make some adjustments to this and change it. We'll see. But yeah, nah, bro. We you know what I mean? This was the piece that honestly turned me up a little bit. I don't have much of a social media presence yet because I've always been Mr. Out the Trunk. Like, there's literally pictures of me pushing this out the trunk. I might even be on my Instagram still. Let me see. I might actually be on my Instagram now, where I was out the trunk all over the place. Wherever you needed it, I was pulling up, getting them off. You know what I'm saying? Getting them off. Shout out to my cousin, 'cause I was getting it off. Just out the trunk everywhere, whenever you need it. And look, I'm getting it off. So anyways, this right here, I always want to end these videos with some sort of a message. And the message with this one is this: if you're a brand, if you're up and coming, do not look to immediately be a part of all of these PO box unboxings and stuff like that. Tap in with people, bro. Honestly, like, if you see some people who if you would like promotion, right, and you're not really sure where to start, if you run Raw Dog Instagram ads, you can. And honestly, I feel like that's a way of promoting that does work. It does work, but a lot of the time is going to get you skipped over. A lot of your money is not going to be converted into sales off the dribble. Like, you're going to spend it's going to be it's a whaler's game. So if you got a lot of money to spend, like maybe you had an investor or something like that, where you got a budget now for marketing and you want to whale some bread off, okay, you can. But this is what they hire marketers for, is to tap into their network. So I recommend creating pieces. Use certain pieces to build your network a little bit, build your mailing list a little bit, so then every time you drop, you ship out to people on your mailing list, your stuff shows up in the content, then you drop, and then you pay a flat fee to some of those people, whether they ask it or some people will do it off the strength. Luckily for me, I haven't had to pay anybody for promo. Some people will do it off the strength, but don't count on that. Come with some bread, be respectful. And you basically show up and be like, hey, listen, I got this product. Would you be down to promote? So a lot of times they only want 25 to $100, depending on whether you want it to post on the story, the feed, and how many followers they got, right? Some people, the price is going to go up depending on what it is and how vital it is and how long you want it to keep up. But you'll be able to get straight to your target audience. And if you can put together a good video or image or whatever the case, so that way the person, you don't have to rely too much on the person saying the right thing for you. It does go a long way, because people buy from who they trust. And if they know that who they're following trusts you, they'll probably buy from you. You know what I mean? That's number one. But number two, people they like, I almost call it like bike riding syndrome, dick riding syndrome, whatever you want to call it. But when they see one of their favorites rocking your stuff, it makes them have that fear of missing out. Like, oh, I got to get there. And to solve the problem of the people that are around you that don't support you, right? The minute that they start to see you transcend into different spaces and spheres and they feel like you're leaving them behind, they also get that fear of missing out. So you can capitalize on it. You just got to be strategic with your money, especially if you're self-funded like I am. Be strategic with your money and try to make the best decisions you can when it comes to promotion, because it can be expensive. It adds up. And if you press the wrong button, it can cost you. You'll basically be lighting your money on fire. So every time you do promotion, you're taking a chance. Now, when you understand that and you're okay with that, and like I said, if you're a bit of a whale, by all means, play the game. But if, like I say, you're self-funded and you're on the come up, you're figuring these things out, look around the creator sphere in your area. You know what I mean? Look around in your area or just outside of your area, right? And the way it works, I forget the name of the strategy, but you tap into just outside of your area, it trickles back into your area. You expand your radius again, boom. So then by the time you're traveling, right, to other places, and you're putting your stuff in other hands in other places, maybe a country, states, whatever the case, enough people will have heard of you where the word continues to trickle back down. And every time it trickles down and from that radius back to the center where you started from, you're bringing along more and more traction on your way back. Now, it doesn't just happen overnight. Some people's pieces, they do go viral, but there's a lot of payola with that, right? But if we're talking about consistency, doing it organically the right way, number one, you are going to have to be out the trunk. You're going to have to get into people's faces with your product so they remember you and they remember it. One thing about the McQueen John that was good was when he cracked open the John
From your
people were in the chat like, I've seen this before. That was the thing. I was like, okay, that's good. That means that I've been doing my job. And when they say, because someone like Eero ain't no uncle, and McQueen, they share similar fan bases for sure. They share similar fan bases because they be talking shit, they be on that P shit, whatever the case, right? They be fucking with the girls, talking about you know what I mean? Just giving game. And then the hoop squad, they fuck with that same vibe. So that's what I mean when I say be strategic with your dollars. Save your money, save your time. You dig what I'm saying? Anyways, I don't want this video to be too long, even though all of them are kind of over 10 minutes, but it is what it is. I got a lot to say. You know, this piece was the one that did help take me over the top. Now, next, after this, I'm going to talk about some mistakes that I made in my next video. I'm going to talk about mistakes that were made and, you know, how to recover or how to strategize around mistakes that were made. So with that being said, I'm gonna catch you on the next video. I'm going.